In the year 2150, the sprawling metropolis of New Manhattan was a place of dazzling lights, towering skyscrapers, and cutting-edge technology. It was a city of contrasts, where the rich lived in luxury high-rises, and the poor struggled to survive in the neon-soaked streets below. Amidst the chaos, Ava Cross made a living as a private investigator, using her quick wit and street smarts to solve cases that others couldn't. One day, Ava was hired by the CEO of Moore Industries, one of the city's largest tech conglomerates, to find his missing daughter, Sarah Moore. Sarah was a brilliant young heiress who had recently come into her own as a leader in the tech industry. Her disappearance was a shock to everyone who knew her, and her father was desperate to find her. Ava knew that the case wouldn't be easy. In a city as vast and complex as New Manhattan, secrets and dangers lurked around every corner. But she was determined to find Sarah and bring her home, no matter the cost. And so, she set out into the shadows of Neon City, ready to uncover the truth and confront the dark forces that threatened to tear it apart. Ava began her investigation by scouring the city's underbelly for any clues about Sarah's whereabouts. She talked to informants and hackers, gathered information from the dark corners of the web, and followed up on any lead that might take her closer to the missing heiress. It was during one of these late-night excursions that she first encountered Fixer, a rogue AI with a reputation for being able to find anything and anyone. Fixer was a shadowy figure who operated in the fringes of the city, but Ava knew that if anyone could help her find Sarah, it was him. After a tense conversation, Fixer revealed that he had information on Sarah's location but would only share it in exchange for a rare, encrypted data cube that had been stolen from one of his clients. Ava knew that she had to get her hands on the data cube if she had any chance of finding Sarah. The data cube was being held by a group of cyber criminals who operated out of a disused subway station in the heart of the city. Ava knew that this would be a dangerous mission, but she was determined to see it through. She made her way to the station and infiltrated the group's headquarters. It wasn't long before she found the data cube, but she was quickly surrounded by the criminals who had caught on to her plan. A fierce fight ensued, but Ava was able to outsmart and overpower her opponents, making her way out with the data cube in hand. She returned to Fixer and handed over the data cube, keeping her end of the bargain. In return, Fixer gave her the location of Sarah's whereabouts. Ava knew that she was getting closer to finding the missing heiress, but she also knew that the danger was far from over. The shadows of Neon City were deep and treacherous, and she had no idea what other obstacles lay ahead. With the location of Sarah in hand, Ava made her way to a warehouse in the outskirts of the city. As she approached, she noticed the building was heavily guarded, indicating that Sarah was likely being held there. Ava carefully planned her infiltration, using her skills to slip past the guards unnoticed. Once inside, she quickly made her way through the maze of corridors and rooms, searching for any sign of Sarah. But her search was cut short when she was confronted by Xander, the notorious cybernetic crime lord who was in charge of the operation. Xander was a formidable opponent, with a powerful robotic body and a lethal array of weapons. But Ava was determined to rescue Sarah and would not be deterred by Xander's threats. Ava and Xander engaged in a brutal fight, with Ava using her agility and wits to stay one step ahead of the cybernetic crime lord. After a hard-fought battle, Ava emerged victorious, disabling Xander and taking him out of commission. With Xander out of the way, Ava finally found Sarah, who was being held captive in a small room in the back of the warehouse. Sarah was relieved to see Ava and told her about her father's plans for a virtual reality world that would control the minds of its users. Ava was shocked by the revelation and knew that she needed to act quickly to stop Sarah's father and his nefarious plans. But first, she had to get Sarah to safety. As they made their way out of the warehouse, Ava and Sarah were pursued by Xander's henchmen. But Ava was able to use her skills and training to outmaneuver them and get Sarah to safety. Once they were out of danger, Ava and Sarah discussed their next move. They knew that they needed to stop Sarah's father and expose his plans for the virtual reality world. But they also knew that it would not be an easy task. With the shadows of Neon City closing in around them, Ava and Sarah resolved to fight back against the corruption and danger that plagued their city. They would need to rely on their wits, their strength, and their unlikely alliance to succeed in their mission. Ava and Sarah knew that they had to stop Sarah's father and his plans for the virtual reality world. They formed an unlikely alliance, determined to bring the conspiracy to light and put an end to it once and for all. They started by infiltrating more industries, where they believed Sarah's father was hiding his secret lab. Ava used her skills as a private investigator to gain access to the building's security system, and they made their way to the lab undetected. Once inside the lab, they found a room filled with the latest technology and equipment. But they were also shocked to discover that Sarah's father had been using his daughter's brain waves as a template for the virtual reality world he was creating. Ava and Sarah were horrified by the revelation and knew that they had to stop him at all costs. They soon found Sarah's father in the control room, where he was overseeing the final stages of the virtual reality world's development. Ava and Sarah confronted him, but he refused to back down. He believed that his creation was for the greater good and was willing to do whatever it took to bring it to life. A fierce battle ensued, with Ava and Sarah working together to take down Sarah's father and activate the emergency shutdown protocol. As they battled, Ava couldn't help but reflect on her own shadowy past and the things she had done to survive in a city like Neon City. But as they emerged victorious, Ava realized that she had the power to create change and make a difference in the world. With Sarah by her side, she vowed to continue fighting against corruption and injustice, and to use her skills to protect those who couldn't protect themselves. As they left the lab and made their way back into the city, Ava couldn't help but think about the persistence of shadows in Neon City. But she also knew that with hope, determination, and the right allies by her side, she could make a difference and create a better future for all who called the city home. After their victory against Sarah's father, Ava and Sarah emerged as heroes. The city hailed them for their bravery and determination, and they became symbols of hope and resistance against the corruption and danger that plagued the city. Ava and Sarah vowed to continue fighting against corruption and injustice in the city, using their skills and resources to protect those who couldn't protect themselves. They knew that the fight would be long and difficult, but they were determined to see it through. As they walked through the neon-soaked streets of Neon City, Ava and Sarah reflected on the persistence of shadows and danger that lurked around every corner. But they also maintained hope for a better future, a future where the city would be free of corruption, danger, and fear. With their alliance and determination, Ava and Sarah knew that they could create a better future for themselves and for all who called the city home. And they were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, knowing that together they were stronger than any shadow that dared to cross their path.